Hey everyone, Noble Comics here with another comic book review. This time we were reviewing Ethan Van Sciver's CYBERFROG BLOODHONEY. So let's jump into it. Just like with my Jawbreakers review, I want to start by talking about the art. And the art is incredible. I mean, it really is maybe the greatest comic book art I've ever seen. I got the line art variant, and the line art is incredible. It looks so good. Every page, every panel looks spectacular. And then Kyle Ritter's colors look amazing as well. I mean, really, everything pops. Everything looks great. Everything, I want to say, flawless. I was trying to find some stuff to point out, but I really couldn't find anything wrong with it. All of it looks amazing. And more than just the art, because I was expecting just a comic book that has good art. That was the hype of the whole thing, was Ethan's drawing it. The art's going to be great. That's the reason you should buy it, because the art's going to be incredible. But it's more than just the characters and the panels that are great. The thing that really caught my eye was the speech bubbles. The speech bubbles specifically for CyberFrog's mom is, we can see the bubbles change over time. We can see the bubbles change with the mood of the story. Like when it talks about CyberFrog coming out to the world, we see it slowly get more degraded, like we have here. I had taught him to feel sympathy and compassion for the human race, talking about CyberFrog, without warning him that they'd have little to none for him in return. No matter what he did, no matter how many lives he saved, humans would treat him with scorn, fear, and hatred. He was not like them. He did not look like one of their Boy Scouts. He did not look like the hero that our planners had hoped for. And at the beginning, when it's talking about taught him to feel sympathy and compassion, the bubble's green, full of life, and then it's, no matter what he did, no matter how many lives he saved, the speech bubble itself starts to get brown and sort of jagged, and at the end it's a dark brown, like it's been rotting. And just as the emotion changes, the bubbles change, and I think that's really clever. Really helps you feel the emotion of the story as you're reading it. I didn't expect that kind of detail to the dialogue and everything. I was just thinking that the art, the characters and the backgrounds would be great, but it's crazy. And then it all culminates with we see Kjell Sin, CyberFrog's mother, saying that she has failed and that she will now die, and we see the big full page spread of the honeycombified world, and Kjell Sin there all broken and battered, and the speech bubbles look like they have honey drooping off of them. Looks incredible. It's a great end to part one. I mean, really, like, the art catches your eye, but the story really pulls you in. So I'm talk about the story side now. Because again, the whole approach to this comic was that the art's great, the art's amazing, the art's going to be fantastic. Nobody really talked about how amazing the story was going to be. And I mean, from the very first panel, it really pulled me in and really made me stick with it. I thought it was fantastic. I really liked the concept of this alien world and how they bond with a human, or the intention was with a human to create a superhero. I thought it was actually pretty funny how, yeah, they came down with the intention of combining with a Boy Scout. I thought that was pretty funny. But, they didn't work out quite the way they expected. But the story was really good. Like I said, it really hooks you. And in that beginning part one, you really gives you a sense of the stakes, and it really gives you a sense of who these characters are. Like, you completely understand who CyberFrog is. You completely understand who Salamandroid is. And then we move on to part 2. And I really like the setting, the 80s setting, and how they chose to kind of go about that. I love seeing CyberFrog in action. And I know this first comic's really a lot of setup. I know that's been some criticism. It's just a lot of setup. But he has to account for the fact that he does have other comics in this universe, the 1998 Ashcan and the Amphibionics Ashcan, that not everybody has read. And so it kind of feels like we're rushing through to kind of get to the modern day. But again, I understand why. So we're trying to get to the modern day, trying to explain what he used to be and everything that was going on, and then where we are now. And I thought that was pretty well done overall. I really like Heather and CyberFrog's interactions. I think they make a pretty good pair. I gotta say, I think Salamandroid's the coolest designed character in the whole book, and he's huge. I think he's probably the coolest looking character. Though CyberFrog's definitely the most interesting. I think it captures sort of the golden ratio of he's funny and he's got a over-exaggerated personality, but at the same time he can get serious and he can feel serious emotions, because a lot of times we'll have characters where they play the straight man, you know, Batman, he's serious, he doesn't joke around, he doesn't have this exaggerated personality too much, he has more of a muted personality. And then you have like Plastic Man, who's the comedian. All he is exaggerated. He doesn't really play the straight man that well. I feel like CyberFrog's able to kind of find that gap in between them and just be kind of a very well-rounded character. And then from there we see the Vespas. They come to Earth, the exact thing that they were warned about, the thing that their purpose on Earth is to prevent the Vespas from coming. And they show up, and we see awesome fight scene of CyberFrog and Salamandroid versus the Vespas. We see what appears to be Salamandroid dying, though I'm not sure if he's going to come back or not. We have mention of like Traumadeus and some of these other characters that we don't get to see, which I feel like if nobody knew anything about the campaign, that might confuse them a little bit. But I think it's just sort of name dropping them in order to kind of let the reader know there is other stuff in this world, but at the same time you don't really got to worry about it because this story's not really about them. Like, there is more going on, and there's CyberFrog's day-to-day life before the Vespas attack and all that, but for now you can just forget about it. You know, we're gonna move past it. I thought it was pretty cool too how we get to see our heroes lose. We get to see CyberFrog fail at his task. And then going into part 3, we see him come back and he's distraught that he's failed and Kajel's Sin is down. But he still has a way to find Heather Swain. And he finds Heather and her daughter, and we kind of get this brief introduction to the post-Vespas attack world where, you know, you wear red so they don't attack you. We see that Heather's boyfriend, whoever, did not wear red. That's why he's not there. We see CyberFrog come back, and everybody knows who he is. Everybody's been waiting for his return. And then the story ends. And I gotta say, when I flipped that last page, is like I got whiplash, because I was kind of like, you know, is that it? Not in the sense of I didn't get enough, but in the sense of I really want some more. Really, really good story. caught me off guard how good the story was, because I was going in with the expectation that the art was going to be incredible, and the story was a story written by an artist, which is not to say that it wouldn't be good, but that, it's not going to be an Alan Moore story. But it was really good. I mean, it was the most intriguing comic I've read in a long time. The world is so interesting. I think it was a lot of world building and a lot of setup, but it was all done very well. Like, I want to go back into this world, and I want to know more about it. I want to see how CyberFrog's gonna redeem himself, take care of this Vespa's problem that he was created to take care of. I think there's a lot of heart in this story, both from the creator, Ethan, and just from the characters. I get a real sense that they care about this. They care about doing their job. When he fails, he's distraught that he has failed. I think there's a very well written, gets the characters across very well, very quickly, which I think is important. Because if you have to spend multiple books setting up who these characters are, then you're losing time. You're losing time of telling the actual story. So I think this was a good introductory book to the next Wrecked Planet CyberFrog story, which I can't wait for. Overall thoughts, fantastic. As I've been saying this whole time, it's incredible. Really makes you look forward to what's next. I know it took a long time to get out, took everybody a long time for it to be completely fulfilled, but it's definitely worth the wait. Out of 10, I'll probably give it a 9. I think it's amazing. Can't wait to see what Ethan does next. I'll see you guys in the next review. Goodbye.